The Finals has 3 different classes: light, medium, and heavy. And today, I'm going to give you a build for each one of them. If you've really been using only one class, or you're new to the Finals and don't really know what to do for a build, then hopefully this video will be of some use. Let's start off with our light class, with what I like to call Invis Sword. You've probably seen some version of this in the past if you played during the beta, but it hasn't really been as popular since. The build consists of the sword as your weapon, the cloaking device as your specialization, and your gadgets are the sonar grenade, stun gun, and smoke grenade. The basic concept of this build is to walk up to somebody while invisible, stun them, and then whack them. This was so popular back in the beta because both the stun gun and cloaking device were much more potent. But now, even with those two being nerfed, I still think it's an amazing combo. The stun gun basically immobilizes the enemy, especially if you keep hopping around with the sword. They'll have a very difficult time hitting you. The stun gun also stops the enemy from stealing a cash out or reviving a teammate, which can be very helpful, especially if you don't have the time to kill them before they rev or steal. The cloaking device is great for navigating around people without worrying too much about getting shot at. It allows you to go in, do a bunch of damage, and then dip. Something that I feel the evasive dash really lacks. Dash is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not very stealthy. You just kind of hope that people don't chase you down so you can get away. With the Invis, I don't guarantee it, but most times you can escape. But here comes the part of the build that's a little new, the sonar and smoke grenades. I don't know why this combo isn't more popular in general, because it's very simple to pull off and can cause a lot of chaos for the enemy, while helping out you and your teammates. You simply throw a sonar and then a smoke grenade into the same area. The sonar shows you and your teammates where the enemy is, and the smoke obscures the enemy's vision of the area. What I like to do with this build is throw a sonar then a smoke, and if someone is there, then I go invis and go for the stun. The situation is very confusing for the enemy because they're stunned, they're detected, they can't really see much in the smoke, and they can't see you, especially if you're invisible. If you do that, then you have a build that utilizes every part of your loadout, where every piece of the build synergizes with the other. Would definitely recommend this. Now we move on to something that's a little bit simpler, what I like to call the ultimate support build. Like the ultimate defense build that we covered in the 3 heavy builds video, this one is very dependent on your teammates. It includes the riot shield as your weapon, the healing beam as your specialization, and the frag grenade, jump pad, and defibrillator as your gadgets. The goal of this build is very simple: keep your teammates alive at all costs. This is mainly done with the healing beam, which is the biggest part of the build. The beam heals your teammates, but not you. The goal of the build is to continuously heal like your life depends on it. With this build, you put a lot of faith into your teammates, so whether they're smart or stupid, you just have to keep on following them, even if they have no clue where they're going. My main warning about the healing beam is the cooldown on it. You cannot heal constantly with it, and if you expend the little cross icon on it, then you will see an X icon instead, and you'll have to wait a little bit before you can use it again. If your teammates do die under your watch, that's okay, because you have defibs, which brings your teammates back from the dead almost instantly, but there is a little cooldown on it, and then you can heal them with the healing beam. The frag grenade and jump pad are there to help with the movement and for some long range damage. I'm not saying the riot shield is a bad weapon, it's just very close ranged. I also found that it was not blocking damage sometimes head on, but that might just be me. I tried that out in the practice range. Didn't have the same issue, so again, that just might be me. But as I was saying, the jump pad is its own form of support, that being movement. You can place it and angle it any way you want for a massive jump that not even the lights can do. If you're not running jump pad on medium, you're actively wasting the potential of that class. But that's just my opinion. You probably don't have to run frag grenade. Honestly, anything would work in this slot. Other grenades, mines, the zipline, APS turret, data reshaper, all those will work. I just personally like running frag grenade and running a melee build on medium. This build isn't as complicated as the light build, but there's something nice about simplicity. The medium has definitely been cementing itself as more of a support more than anything else ever since its sonar abilities were moved to light or just removed from the game entirely. I really do miss The sonar along with the easy to use AK, it was incredible back in the beta. But now I still do like the medium a lot. And if you really like supporting your teammates, I would highly recommend this build. Also, you do get assists if you're healing a teammate while they're getting a kill. Just keep that in mind. Moving on to our last build. This is something that I wanted to include in the 3 heavy builds video, but didn't quite make the cut for heavy builds. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. But it is still really good, and I still really like it. I call it the Pyromaniac. It includes Flamethrower as your weapon, the Goo Gun as your specialization, the Goo Grenade, Pyro Grenade, and Pyro Mines, as your gadgets. The build is completely tied to a single mechanic of the game. The goo catches on fire, and if you trap someone inside the goo, you can set them on fire. I don't really have much else to explain about this build as compared to the other two, but I do have some things. 1. Fire burns, so just be aware of that. If you thought the healer build was stupid, for any reason, it would definitely come in handy here. The Goo Gun, in my opinion, is a very underrated weapon. It can close up exits and entrances, and it can be set on fire. And it's also the #1 way to trap someone in goo. Just be aware of the fact that if you spam goo, it will go towards you over anywhere else, which isn't great, but you can work around it. The Flamethrower is an incredible weapon, and the Goo Gun can help close the gap with it. The thing I hate most about playing a short-range build, especially on heavy, are those damn lights who keep dashing away from you. Trapping them in the goo and using the Flamethrower on them is definitely a form of catharsis for me. I didn't really use the Pyro Mine at all when playing this build. I don't know if I forgot about it, but it felt more like I just didn't need to use it. Off camera, I played with the RPG instead, and I had a much better time with it, because it gave me some range and some free damage for targets that my Flamethrower just couldn't reach. But what did you think of the builds? I genuinely want to know if you tried them out. Also, if you have some friends and you want to try these out like all together, let me know how they synergize in the comments down below. And if you like the video, subscribing is honestly the best way to support this content. Thank you all for watching. See you later.